How's it going? I'm Stephen King, self-employed personal trainer, lyricist, vocalist, and a few other things. But today, I want to focus on the fitness side. I'm going to share with you my story of creating the life that I love waking up to and having left the 9-to-5 world. And I'm sharing it because I know that there's a lot of you out there that would love to create something of your own. What is it like to not have a boss, supervisor, manager? What is it like to govern all of your own affairs, career, personal, private? What is that like? And the only way that you're going to find out is if you actually make that leap, make that jump, go for it. Take that leap and make the jump. It's the only way to do it. It's the only way to find out, right? I'm sharing this because we only live once. And yet, once we get to our expiration date, we're not coming back. This isn't a rehearsal. You can't come back and do it again. So do it while you're alive. Do it while you're here, while you got the energy, the motivation, the drive. Just go for it. Okay. I'm going to share my story in segments. And some of these segments will include how I knew that if I created my employment for myself, that I would create it in a way that it would utilize and challenge my strengths, and in some ways forgive my deficits. We all have them, and so, but we can create whatever we want to enable us to work better. When I used to work a 9-to-5, I always wondered what it was like for a self-employed person to not have to answer to supervisors, bosses, managers, tell you what time to be to work and how long your lunch break can be and how much vacation you can take a year. I don't think I need somebody to tell me these things. I think I can figure that stuff out on my own. I'm a responsible person, just like you. Oh, shucks. So it didn't matter if it was a big company or a single guy with a push mower and a pickup truck. It's just interesting to me. It's always good to have people in your life that keep you accountable. And I had a friend who kept me accountable and also saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So listen when people give you cues about yourself, because they can see things that you don't see, just like a coach can see strengths and deficits of a player, right? So listen to these folks. So this friend of mine told me that I should leave the 9-to-5, leave the job that we both worked on. He left before I did, and he got into entrepreneurship, fitness, and he told me that I need to get into personal training because I care about people. And I couldn't correlate the two. How does caring about people, what does that have to do with six-pack abs and buns of steel and pythons? I couldn't see the connection between them. Eventually, I did listen to him and I took a leap. But because I was so fearful and didn't think that I could make enough money to finance my life, I went part-time. And because I went part-time, I didn't stick with it. My buddy calls me and he says, "Hey, Steve, come on back out here, but this time you got to come full-time. You got to quit the job." And I'm thinking, oh, this is terrifying. He gave me a client. I work with this client Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6:30 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. for an hour. And it was the glow on her face after she started that made me make a decision. She was disheveled and beat down by life when she walked in, but after she started moving and getting in motion, she illuminated. And that's when I decided this is what I'm going to do. I want to be a part of the best hour of people's lives. Definitely, I'm going to find a way to succeed at this. Another thing about going into business and any kind of thing, let me not call it business, let's say creating the life that you want to live, but we still have financial obligations. So when I got into it, I had to change the model that was currently in front of me if I was going to succeed at this, because I wanted to jump into it and not have to go back to a job. So you got to change your business model sometimes to fit your strengths and enable you to make the adjustments that you need, and then you'll be successful. One thing about entrepreneurship, it will definitely take you out of your comfort zone. But that's why we do it. Because going through the job every day gets boring for us. It gets too repetitive. We want some excitement. We want some challenge. We want some spontaneity. We want to be able to solve problems, create solutions. That's why we do it, and we do it for the ultimate fulfillment also. So yeah, you will have to make some changes and corrections for sure. There'll be obstacles, there'll be hurdles, but like all of the self-employed successful people before you, you're gonna succeed too. Definitely will. You are going to succeed because that's why we do it. We want to challenge ourselves. Another thing, when it comes to self-employment, you don't have, depending on what kind of business you have, you won't start off with all of your customers and clients. You won't have a full amount of income coming in. You won't generate a ton of revenue. And so it's good if you are open-minded and you can receive opportunities and take advantage of them. That's what I did when I first got into it, because I didn't get into it with a ton of fitness clients. I quit a job and had to start from scratch. While I was building the fitness business, basically building the fitness clientele, I was doing all these interesting things to generate a buck here and a buck there. And I'll share that in one of the stories, right? There's different subject for the stories that I want to share with you. In self-employment, most of the time, you're going to be forced to innovate, be creative in order to find a solution to some challenge. But the wonderful thing about that is, most of the time, that is going to create a service or product that's going to enhance the quality of your clients or customers' lives. And it's something that's another service that you can provide. We do this because we don't want regrets at the end of our lives. We don't want to say, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. We want to say, I did. And you got to do this because there's more to life. For some of us, it's more to life than just going to a job for 40, 50 years and retiring. We want something else. Remember, we only live once. And when you do this, you don't have to be perfect. Not at all. What's perfect is just taking the first step towards it. So being perfect held me back for a while on different things, but it's not necessary. Just go for it. Remember, I'll be seeing you soon with the first story of many stories to come of how I created a life that I enjoy waking up to and left the 9-to-5 world. See you soon. Stephen King.